Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, and I'm joined by, for the last time, my partner Lynn, that wee cosplayer. Um, I say the last time because we don't seem to have a fucking clue what's going on with this show anymore. And I have zero enthusiasm for it going forward now. I wasn't excited about this season to begin with. I had hopes for Lux. I liked the Interstellar Song Contest more than I thought I would because I was just kind of grasping for stuff at that point. And Westworld I wasn't impressed by. And like I like yesterday when it finished. Obviously, this is our review of the reality war. When it finished yesterday, I had a big shit eating grin in the cinema because I was basically going to everyone, I told you so, I told you so. Because the things with this show nowadays, even though I was skeptical about like Ncuti, the way this has been done, I deep down I didn't want it to be true. But with how these rumors keep turning out and what comes out about this show nowadays, they're always true. Animation, I keep saying this to people, whereas the animations, the collection box sets, the figures, companies going bust like Eagle Moss, and the main show itself, they always turn out to be true. This is not 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago, where most that came out were not true. I think people still think we're living in that era, which we're not, because press and media and how things are obtained has progressed a lot more beyond that. How the show's made now is not the same it was made 10 years ago, and I think people forget that a lot. It's like the medium of television has completely changed. Now, obviously, the big things in this weren't leaked or spoiled at all, really, in a sense, when you think about it. Um, but there, there's been obviously a lot of rumours the past month. There was the plot leaks which came out, which have turned out to be true. And it was the same thing with the 60th anniversary specials with David and Catherine. They all turned out to be true. So when stuff like this keeps happening, people seem to forget that, people just don't want to take it as the fact. And that's why after the episode was finished, I wasn't like, oh, I'm angry. I was just like, yeah, there you go. Exactly what I expected it to be. It's the same with every fucking RTD finale, his openers as well, and it's what I expected. I don't expect anything more, anything less. I expect disappointment as per usual. And I feel like with this, you know, is quite easily the worst thing that they have ever done in this show's history, I'd say. It's like, I know, like, because because of how people watch television and consume television, this goes back to Stu Bagfield's video a year ago where he says Doctor Who's outdated, and it is outdated. It's outdated in terms of how it's put together. It doesn't fit in the streaming world. It doesn't. It's the cinema thing. We watched this in the cinema. Clearly, the only reason why they put that in the cinema was for the ending, and because they want that interaction off of us. It's the same with the Fancy and Lux. It's just for that interaction because it'll get the fans in a tick or whatever. But like, I'm rambling, but like, first, well, I'll say first impressions. Well, me and Lynn were emotionally drained by this. Lynn's reaction after we finished yesterday was a lot more visceral than me, which is unusual because it's normally the other way around. But again, I wasn't like surprised by it happening. I was just kind of like, but the more last nights went on, the more I thought about it. And now we've watched Unleashed. It feels stuff we were saying after the episode yesterday, where it's like, oh, it can't be it. Surely they're watching Unleashed now. That's definitely it for the way things have turned out. It's like, well, first impressions, like, I mean, I don't I don't have anything to say, like, other than it's a poorly structured piece of television to me. You know, it's not it's not a good episode of Doctor Who. It's not a good episode of television. You know, there was, again, it's the same as always. There's decent stuff in there. They don't fucking do anything with it. We'll come on to the thing that has obviously shook everyone and that, but like up until up until the Rani fucking being wasted and getting eaten by Omega, what were you thinking of it?
I was okay. I was enjoying it to some extent, but not to any particular reason. It was okay. It was something I could watch and go, right, okay, that's that. Put it to bed, move on.
Yeah.
Fine. But it's just, I just feel emotionally drained and physically drained by everything. I can't even put any words.
Yeah, I know. It's
And I'm not normally that. I'm normally the one that goes,
I know.
I was fine, don't
That's
worry
why I
about
was
it.
shocked. Yeah.
Even with the David coming back for the 60th stuff,
Yeah.
I was not happy one bit, but that was all it was. I just wasn't happy. I just let it be, and I enjoyed his episodes.
It was a good run of stories.
Episodes, but I just didn't like the idea. It wasn't him coming back that bothered me. It was just the idea of it.
Yeah.
It bothered me more. Whereas this time, it feels completely different. It feels like everything's been whipped right under me, which is really unsettling and unusual for me.
Yeah. I don't. Right. My impressions of, like, right, up until the Randy got ate by Omega, that's a stop point I'm using. I wasn't enjoying it because I knew where it was going to end up, and it's just like, yep, it's, you know, it's bouncing from three places to the next, you know, whatever. It's bouncing from one place to the next. You're not, you're wasting time on exposition after exposition after exposition, which fucking Doctor seems to love doing that at the moment. We've had 3 episodes in this season. But I really hate exposition in Doctor. I really do. I hate it in any piece of television, but especially Doctor Who, because I know it can do better than that. And that it's just characters standing and fucking talking. There's not a lot of action. There's not anything that's pulling it together or keeping it together or making it consistent. And because of the way this is ending up, I'm feeling like RTD thought he had longer with what has happened.
Yeah.
And he's just had to quickly fucking scrap shit up. Because look what happened with Time of the Doctor and all Moffat's plot ideas. He probably thought he had one more year of Matt Smith. And then Matt went, oh, I'm going to leave. And Moffat went, shit, I better fucking quickly just wrap all this up. And that's why Time of the Doctor's a fucking mess. Because you're trying to conclude 5 plot arcs at once. So I think RTD thought he had longer with Ncuti playing the part, or just these characters in general.
To be fair, I think we all thought that. To be fair.
Yeah, no, of course. Now, I still do not like RTD as the showrunner, but with the way television, like, because people are going to completely blame RTD for this, and we'll sit.
You can in 100%.
Yeah.
It's just how things are these days.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the conversation we were having before the cinema on how it's going to become a situation where you won't be able to watch anything without having to be on social media and having that interacting constantly, the two will end up marrying up each other, and you'll have to do both at exactly the same moment
Yeah.
to enjoy one. And that was the big conversation we were having before the cinema, remember?
Yeah, with
And
two of our
that
friends.
proves it.
What, that
you're going to have social media play alongside
oh
when
yeah.
you're watching, because
Oh yeah, you can see
if you look at
why
if
they
you look
waited.
at everything they've done, pretty much, it was all, oh, there's a moment, yeah. There's a moment. With other episodes and other stories, you can maybe pick one or two out and go, oh, there's a moment for social media, but it wouldn't be all and end all. You can take it and leave it.
But yeah, like the fancy unlocks.
Moment after moment after moment. Like, why are we just doing stuff for the sake of social media and not telling a story that could have been interesting and develop it more?
Yeah.
Because a lot of the characters just went to waste, in my opinion. Because if you look at Lorani, for example, she had a great fuck story. I enjoyed it. I know not everybody does, but
what Wish World?
No, an actual fuck story for the character.
Oh, Marco Devani.
Yeah,
sorry, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Sorry.
He had a decent fuck story. I know it's not a very cup of tea, but if
you get to grips with her character.
If you've never seen it, it's decent. I really enjoy that one. But then again, I can't talk to fans, so of course I'm going to enjoy it. But then you get to time, and it feels like, it feels slightly out of character. Not so much the Rani, so much.
Yeah.
That's more the Rani trying to bounce off a new doctor. That didn't feel like the doctor that we know if you've seen other episodes before watching that, because you know what the character becomes.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like him. Yes, you can go, oh, regenerating energy, it probably just muddled things up a little, but it still didn't feel like that either.
No, I'd agree with that.
So, you have problems there. And then, it's been untouched for so long.
Yeah.
And you say, oh, let's bring her back. Great idea. But please do something with it. Because it felt like we started off trying to do something with it that might have worked.
Yeah.
And then by the time you get to the last episode, you're just doing the same stuff you've done previous.
Yep.
Not added anything to it, and it felt like a waste. And they built up Mrs. Flood so well.
I know, yeah.
Throughout, and you've got one of the best actresses for TV. To then go away. It's so disappointing.
It is.
Because if I know that might be a generational thing, but if you've ever seen her performance or any of the clips of her performance in EastEnders, I know so actresses get a bad reputation, and I know they really do, but her.
Was she good in EastEnders?
She was absolutely amazing as a character, and the way she gets handed those divorce papers, it's just amazing. It's one of the best scenes in a lot of soap operas for the UK anyway.
Yeah.
It's one of the most memorable scenes because it's done on Christmas Day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Who wants to get handed a divorce paper on Christmas Day?
Yeah.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah. And that's what makes that good television.
So you have such a great actress to then build it up so well, to then have somebody else take over what it's fine, you know, the next person comes in and everyone is going to take over, but don't make them a bystander. And have maybe one moment of her still being her when it's, well, actually two, if you think about it, her being her, when you think about the whole making the Simon scene.
Mm-hmm.
That feels more like her character.
Yeah, it does.
And then the scene with her going, okay, I'm off. Feels more like her being kind of like, well, I've done what I need to do. Bye. Enjoy the chaos. Yeah. And then you expect the chaos.
Yeah.
But you don't get the chaos. No. If she left, if she left and then had all the chaos and followed after it, it would have been more impact. But there
more
wasn't.
impactful. Yeah, exactly.
And then you get a character that is so well built up and the lore of everything.
Yeah.
Because if you've ever seen Three Doctors, it's a character we have no recollection of until that very moment.
Yeah.
But so much is impacted in that moment, you get a whole sense of, I wanted to do something good.
Yeah, and he was, yeah.
I wanted to do good. I wanted to build a proper society, maybe to be elite.
Yeah.
But still, a society. Yes, the timely child stuff kind of rules that out a little, just because he's not the first Time Lord anymore.
Yeah.
And the Doctor, technically.
Yeah.
But he's one of the founding members.
Yeah.
So he's helped shape everything we know a Time Lord to be.
Yeah.
For somebody who had no body.
Yeah, exactly.
And takes a body. Not to say that he didn't once have a body.
Yeah.
But the person we know had no body.
Yeah, he's been banished.
So he can literally be anything, because if you look at the Doctors, they like to take the helmet off and there's nothing.
Yeah.
It's just an outline, out of cell, something to hold the emptiness.
Yeah.
Basically the void.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
And a kind of.
Yeah, it's a great scene.
So you have that. So you could have literally created anything, because I think somebody get all late and that he was meant to be one of the skeleton things floating around.
What, in the trailer shout?
No, it was just that's what Omega was meant to be. I don't know if it was a true leak or what, but I would have.
Which one of the skeleton things?
That was meant to be what he became.
Oh, that? Oh,
yeah,
okay,
that's what he meant to become. And that would have been something a bit more interesting, because it can be anything. It might have not looked great, it might have not had a good payoff, but it would have been interesting. Something. Yeah. Just like it was something. It didn't pay off well, but at least it was something.
Something, yeah.
Now you get to the version we have that lasted what?
Like 2, 3, fucking 4 minutes.
5 minutes maybe?
It's less than that.
Something like that.
Less than 5 minutes.
Right. Now, you've got somebody who had no body, and you can run your imagination any which way. Do anything that you ever wanted, ever could imagine. And what do? Literally give him a fucking body.
Yep.
Don't take it too literal, please. Why? It makes no goddamn sense. Exactly. To be given a body. Fine, because he certainly has one, just with a dog-like head.
Yeah.
Fine. But to vastly different from Omega.
Yeah, he is.
Omega never had a body, as far as we're aware.
Yeah.
Because we don't know if the Time Lord body that he had initially, when he was the founders, had a window body.
Yeah.
Oh, and then looked at through what experiments, and that's what he became. Because Omega isn't a god. Omega is a founding member of Time Lord, not Galaxy, Time Lord. And always wanted to be a god. And even that wasn't even stated properly.
No.
And that's the whole point of Omega. He's bitter and annoyed at the Time Lord for not giving him what he tried to do.
Yeah. He
tried to be a god. Maybe he got too big for his boots, and that's why they shut him down.
Yeah. That's why he's a beautifully tragic character in a way.
But he might have been the god that the Time Lord actually needed to keep the peace.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Who knows? But because I'm not actually explored that side of it properly, I don't know whether Big Vinny's have ever tapped into any of it lately to maybe give you a bit more context to other things. But from actual TV stuff, we've never explored it. And that could have been a good opportunity. But
Well, it could have
no,
been.
we got less than 5 minutes of him. And this big, what looked like decayed stone
Yeah,
falling
I know.
apart
Yeah, I know.
to then disappear.
Yeah.
Like, why did we need to bring two great villains back?
And
What? Why not just bring one back and leave the other one for another time?
exactly.
It would have made it, because bringing the two back, Amiga wasn't even needed.
No, he was not.
The man was enough.
Yeah, he really.
Amiga was not needed, and that's a shame because he's such a great character. I love Three Doctors.
Yeah.
I love that more than I love 5.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people enjoy 5.
Yeah.
But it's just disappointing. And then
I was gonna say something.
And then you get to Belinda, who it was such a great character, and I really enjoyed Belinda's one. She had potential to be such a great character, but then you get up to a point where you're like, oh, is this her done? Where's the arc?
Exactly.
Where's her arc?
Where's her arc? Yeah, or
Because, yes,
a feeling of it.
yes, if you're a classic Who fan, there is no arc for dudes.
Yeah.
They just leave, and they have a reason for leaving, and that impactful enough.
Which is the better way of doing it, anyway.
But for modern, there's no arc, and it's just, oh, I need to go home. I need to go home. I need to go home. But that's essentially every companion to some degree.
Well,
and then you get to the point, which we didn't see, whether that's because of filters and reality being messed up or whatever. The reason for getting home was to see our daughter. Because initially we just thought it was to get back home to family.
Yeah.
The same way Ruby was so grasping to family.
Yeah.
But no, it was our daughter. And I was so hoping that probably would have been more than just her daughter.
Yeah.
Because it was built up so well that there could have been more.
Yeah.
Because going back on what I said with the time with child stuff, I was on the right wavelength.
You were close.
And they could have kept on that wavelength, but they didn't. And that's what probably failed them. By not keeping to the wavelength that it was sort of building up to. It just felt so deflating. And then you get an alternative timeline and they're trying to sort reality where she's now wanting to travel.
Yeah.
And then you've got Ruby who came in. The doctor barely said anything up to that point anyway.
Yeah, this is where
and then
it's
she's
fucking...
standing there just looking like...
Why am I here?
What about me?
What about me?
Are you not going to at least say hello?
Yeah, I want to come on to this. This was a really big... We've gone over what the issues... Like, again, that halfway point... Wasted characters, don't fucking do anything. You've got every single main character there. Susan Twist, Shirley, Kate Stewart. Like for this era.
Yeah, I like having them all back.
Yeah, but they don't fucking do anything.
No, I know that, but it's nice having them there, and it's nice having Susan there as well, because I think just having them dabbling in the story, whether they've done nothing or not, just dabbling, and all set up for what to come for land and.
Yeah,
between the seas.
Right. Anyway, but what I'm getting at is because it's fucking supposedly in the Ncuti's last episode, you need to feel like these characters play a bigger part with him, because I don't think they even have really in this era. Like Shirley's just came back out of fucking nowhere, just barely had any interaction with him. The same with fucking Rose, you know. Love her in Starbase, wonderful actress, and you fucking waste her. She does nothing outside of Starbase. Stands on a fucking iPad, and I didn't even remember what she'd done in fucking the episode I just watched last night. I've already forgotten, probably because she'd done nothing. But this, like, up until that point, I was not liking it. I thought, yeah, okay, well, just disappointing fucking flab. And then, yeah, like, what you just said about how, like, oh, it's just her getting back to her daughter. It's the same thing again as last year where with just Ruby, it was like, oh, her mum's just an ordinary like person. You know, like, yeah, ordinary is a beautiful thing, but when you're structured like that in television, you need to have something more than that. You can't just it can't be that simple. And they've done the same thing again with the Doctor, because Poppy's just been chucked in out of fucking nowhere as well. And what, like, this was bringing me on to what I was meant to say with oh, what was I gonna say? Oh, I've forgotten what I was gonna say. It was what you were saying about. Oh no, I've forgotten what I was gonna say. I just remember, because I'm getting that annoyed. I'm forgetting what I was gonna say. The the point where for me it started to feel off was like 15 and Belinda talking to each other, and
yeah.
and Ruby's just standing over the other side of the console.
Yeah.
And what really pissed me off about that is she's not been in the season apart from two stories, right?
Roughly, yeah.
Right? You've seen how much her and Ncuti interacted with each other in season 1. Was a good friendship there, right? And then to suddenly just like he didn't seem like he gave a fuck that she was there. You know, like, they've been away for a whole year, and she's just kind of standing there to the side, like, just whatever. And you're like, oh, with Belinda, it's like, fucking hell! If you could balance 3 companions like that back in the 1960s, surely you can do it with 2 that have barely had any fucking character, and at least feel like it has some actual payoff. Because the fact she's just standing there, like, just like she's nothing, it's really shit. And this has been my fucking biggest problem with this, because we were having this discussion with a friend yesterday. Doing things for the sake of a plot or for story, right? By generation, right?
Yeah, I'm still okay with it.
No, but the problem is with it now, the only reason why they done that was so the Doctor had 2 odds against the Toymaker. That's the only reason why they done it. You look back on that now. Why did the Rani bi-generate? There was honestly no need.
And where's the explanation we might be getting?
Yeah.
Unless that explanation is still to come with whatever the region was.
Well, I don't know what fucking RTD was stating in the clock, because he basically said it was going to get explained. It didn't get explained. I'm not finished. But doing things for the sake of a plot or a story, and then having no actual so again, Omega, no payoff, just for the sake of a cool cliffhanger. Sutek, no payoff, just for the sake of a cool cliffhanger. The Rani, you know, clearly and obviously was only meant to be the Rani because that's what the fans wanted.
And what they wanted.
The show he wanted. But they knew, they said from the off they had no idea what they wanted her to be. When you make a character like that, you need to know what it is from the off. You cannot just go, yeah, we'll just make it that, you know.
Because he may be a scientist.
Yeah, exactly. She was not.
So that's the whole point.
There was nothing, nothing like that.
Not like the master out there to cause chaos.
Yeah.
He's out there trying to better
life
in timeless society.
Yeah.
Because it's never stated, but given everything we've been given up to this point in the lore, I would say the Rani's been not there from the very beginning, but near enough the beginning of Timeless Society in a sense. So she's not one of the founding, but one of the early Time Lords responded from that, and her job was to help better them and become the scientist and help better life.
Yeah, no.
She might have taken that a bit too far.
Yeah.
But I think that was her sole purpose, because she's never really been an enemy. In a way.
She didn't feel her character, and Manji Punjabi, completely wasted. Great at playing that role. She felt like the character a lot.
Yeah.
But she done fuck all. There was no reason for there was no reason for them to bi-generate at all. There was absolutely no reason for for Mrs. Flood to fuck off and come back again. The mystery's gone because we know who she is. But doing things for the sake of a story, a plot, a season arc, you know, whatever, that is not good television writing, because you're doing it for a one-time thing. And it feels very Moffat era to me, you know, like, stuff doesn't get explained. That's the epitome of the Moffat era to me. And the bi-generation thing, not explained. Like, I liked it as a one-time thing, but then RTD's went, oh no, every Doctor bi-generated. Oh no, there's no, the Rani's not part of the fucking timeless child shite, maybe not, but she can bi-generate anyway. But oh, the Doctor doesn't bi-generate here at the end. Yeah. What? It's purely for the sake of, again, as I said, the Doctor to have 2 odds against the Toymaker so they could win. That's the only reason why they've done it. Anyway, we've got 10 minutes left on this, so...
And you can put one tiny point. The only thing I will say about the whole Belinda characterisation on the fact that she always wanted to go home. The one thing I did enjoy though is, even though she always wanted to go home and that's what a whole point of her was, she still got stuck in, she still done stuff, she still wanted to see things and realise where the Doctor was coming from. What done a bit more justice than they done with Ben back in the day.
Yeah,
on the sense of every time we landed with Ben, who's for anybody that doesn't know, the 10th Doctor companion, the minute he landed, I was like, oh, can we go now? Can we get up? Never mind, just let it go. I need to get back. Like, you've seen the world, mate. You've seen stuff you couldn't be seen. Embrace it and enjoy it.
Yeah, and
why I don't like Ben so much.
Yeah, and in my favourite story, Power of the Daleks, you just want to leave everyone left to be fucking massacred. Anyway, right.
I just wanted to use that as a comparison.
Right.
Because the best one.
Yeah, right. We don't have a lot of time left on this review, so we're going to wrap this up and talk about the thing that has obviously shook everyone and the going to easily be probably the most, quite possibly the most controversial thing that the show has ever done, I'd say. For me, this is I feel like I need to explain how I feel about it very briefly. But yeah, it's the Billy Piper thing, which turned out to be true.
Yeah.
All I'm gonna say on it is, I do not mind Billy Piper playing the Doctor. I don't mind that. It's not it's not that. I don't mind Billy Piper playing the character, right? It's the fact she's already played such a very iconic part already in the show. Whether you like the character or not, and I don't, I will admit she's popular. She's she's very iconic. She's the first modern series companion, and she made such an impact on a whole new generation of fans. People are gonna see her as that. They're not gonna move past the Rose Tyler thing. She's like, it doesn't matter. She's gonna be seen forever as Rose Tyler, and it just feels weird to know that we met the new Doctor back in fucking September at Acme. Do you have any idea how that feels?
I know.
And this is the biggest problem. It was keeping that under wraps, in terms of Ncuti leaving.
Yeah.
That's it. He's gone. That's it. Really? Because when that happened, we were sitting like, that can't be it. Surely that's not it. No contract fine. Lynn mentioned to us that about how he's still got 8 episodes. I find
as far as we were aware and the way it was put out to us was he was contracted for 26 episodes, not didn't he contracted 26 episodes in total.
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, then as you said, that would lead into the spin-off.
Yeah.
But the way it was presented was he was contracted for 26 episodes, meaning he's missing 8.
Missing 8. I think...
Might streak to 9 if he's got a special.
Yeah.
But...
Now, I think people have misinterpreted that slightly. I think purely what it is it is just a contract for 2 seasons, 2 Christmas specials, and the War Between the Land and the Sea, because as we know, obviously the 60 specials were not made in contract with Disney Plus. I think it's because we know War Between the Land and the Sea is about 8 episodes.
Something like that.
This explains now.
That seems to be the standard at the moment.
Yeah, this explains now why there was no Christmas special really in the works for this year. I've only just realised that. because you thought we'd be like, oh yeah, he's in it.
Yeah. But
anyway,
my problem is, now, if you've ever watched Doctor Who, anything, you will constantly go, oh, I recognise that actor, I recognise that actor.
Yeah.
Where have I seen him before?
Which
What
we've
story
been
was
doing
that?
a lot.
You'll do
Classic
that from the pretty much after the first
season.
2 seasons, maybe?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's there, right? Yeah. Now, and I think the same problem I had with David. It's not David coming back that bothered me. It's this. You have a character that plays somebody in some scene, plays a few bits, might make a reappearance and play another character in the same sort of light, no problem. Because they're two different characters, they're minor, it's for story purposes, they're great actors. Some people like to reuse same actors because they got on well, and it's stated in many interviews, right?
Yeah.
Because Douglas Campbell was especially one of them for using that,
right?
Yeah. So fine.
Like Tim Burton. Yeah.
That's fine, no problem. But then you have the thing of an actor playing a minor character and then getting pulled in and playing a big character. Fine, that works, because then that's two different things. They'll play a big character and they'll be that big character, and that'll be the end of their run to playing anything else, unless they have the other one where they bring that big character back but they put it behind visual effect, makeup, costume.
Yeah.
You can only recognise them as recognise the voice,
Yeah.
or you know who they are. Fine, I can get on board with that, no problem. But do not, under any fucking circumstances, bring a fucking main character back to then play another fucking main character. It makes no goddamn sense, because I don't like fucking see anything else. I don't know what else I can say.
See, I think people have now realised with this era, because they were expecting it to be like the old days and that, which it fucking never was going to be. And like, this is what I mean about the fandom being delusional when I say stuff like this. But like, it's just for the sake of the popularity. That's all it is. The Tenant and Take stuff for the 60th specials, people were like, oh, characters and stuff. Like, they done it because they knew that would bring fans back in, and a whole new generation of fans, and like around the world where it was being streamed, there's two faces for the Doctor that people will know, and that's either David Tennant or Tom Baker. Those are the two most iconic, right? And David is one of them, and they've done it because obviously Tom Baker's too fucking old to play it now. It's for the sake of, like, that's what will pull people in, and they've done the same thing here again. It feels so incredibly shortchanged.
At least with Tom Baker, they just made him the curator.
Yeah, that was fine.
Because that could be a face that he borrowed.
Yeah, exactly.
Or that could be a person of the Doctor that just retired.
Yeah, I know.
Anything. Right, I can take all that, no problem. But it's just, I'm so hoping, because one, he's not meant to add the Doctor in the credits.
Yeah.
And I could be seeing this wrong, but it looks like he's wearing white in the regeneration, but it's hard to tell under the effect a little. Yeah. So if that is, then it's looking back to War Doctor. So please tell me that is some bad rules, mumble jumble shit, because then I can get on board and I'll be much happier, because then I can take all that. But at the same time, why would a Doctor regenerate into that?
Yeah, into that. Yeah, I know.
If it's bad rule stuff, it doesn't make sense either. But if they can make it fit to some degree, I can get on board with it, because I can get on board with most things, no matter how wacky, crazy it is. I'm just one of those ones they can accept in, whether I like it or not. But please, do not make it an actual fucking Doctor. Please, because this is going to ruin everything.
So it does feel incredibly shortchanged, and this is why when people say, like, oh, a surprise regeneration, what's going on right now? It's showing exactly why you should never do it.
Yeah.
The way the fans are reacting to it, the way it feels incredibly shortchanged, the way that was all presented and unleashed. It's clearly that is definitely it.
On
We've literally got 50
I
seconds.
but on the lighter note, I did 90 Tory back.
Yes, it was,
It
but
was 90 Tory back.
it's too late to mention that now. But
That was nice. That kind of softened the blow a little.
it did. It was the best. If there was one scene I liked in this, it was that. That was my favourite scene. But it feels incredibly shortchanged. This shows why you should not do a surprise regeneration and why you need to announce when the actor is leaving the show because of stuff like this. Because I'm incredibly distraught over him leaving because I loved him.
Yeah.
And him saying I love you to us was very emotional. So, because it's about to end, goodbye Ncuti Gatwa and goodbye to this era.
Yeah.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.